Hello and welcome to another edition of Ask Ben W, the video series where I get to tackle at least one question as I traverse from my parked car to my office in Denver Public Schools. Today's question is courtesy of the wonderful and amazing end-of-year blog posts that Audrey Waters does every year, or has for the last good number of years, probably at least 5. And she does these EdTech trends of the year, and she analyzes a whole bunch of writing and sort of distills it to very specific trends. It's kind of like the edupunk version of of like the Horizon Report is how I would say it. But the question that I am thinking of on this Monday morning is, what are the real trends, not of EdTech, but of teaching and learning and the way in which we are experiencing it in 2015, and perhaps maybe cynical trends is kind of the right frame for this. But I kept on thinking about some of the big trends that I have experienced this year, and maybe throughout 2015 is selling it a little short, but I would say at the very least in 2015, one of the big trends that I have experienced is the trend of urgency over importance or impact. And the way in which I have experienced this trend is has a lot to do with essentially just every new week of the year there is a new and definitely not improved, but new urgent fire that we need to put out, or that we need to tackle and grapple with. And that's something that I have experienced for a while now. And every new week that we have, it keeps on coming, where this week we have to tackle something new that the Board of Education has determined, or that the strategic planning process has determined, or that a new report came out and we gotta really tackle it. And really is this moment of compacting all the things that you were doing into a smaller area, and then focusing on the new and urgent. And so definitely a trend I have experienced. There are ways to combat that and things like that, but definitely something that I have experienced in 2015. Another trend that I have experienced has a lot to do with the meeting-heavy culture in Denver Public Schools, but I think that this is probably elsewhere as well. But the trend, as you might say, is three parts. That was 4. 3 parts. The trend is meet, retreat, reorg, and it is something that I have been experiencing for actually a couple of different times throughout 2015. But we meet until we can no longer meet anymore about a certain topic. Then we retreat on that topic. And if that doesn't solve the particular problem that we are having, if longer extended planning sessions do not resolve the issues, then we reorg and we change up the people who are sitting in their seats, and change the way in which we are interacting with one another. And in and of themselves, all 3 of those things are very important and valuable, and they do get us closer to the outcomes that we want. but I do see that as a 2015 trend. And I guess the last trend that I would want to sort of expound upon as we are thinking about it is a trend of, I guess I might say that it's a trend of waiting. There is this overwhelming sense in some parts of 2015, and definitely something that I have experienced quite a bit, is that we are not in control of our own destiny, and that other forces are really causing us to make decisions outside of our sphere of influence. And the trend of waiting for those decisions to be made is something that we tend to experience quite a little bit. And because of that, you end up with not only the trend of waiting, but you also end up with the trend of inaction. And so there is some of this lack of momentum or lack of clarity that is inevitable in times of change, and you can't necessarily get past it all of the time. But when you wait for others to make decisions about the ways in which you would like to create teaching and learning, or the ways in which you would like to support students and teachers and schools, then, sort of waiting begets more waiting. And I think there are, each one of those rather high-level trends have a lot to do with the ways in which we overcome or don't the situations that surround us, and the ways in which we support one another and create opportunities for each other to have really robust learning experiences and times of creation and of open dialogue. Because if we are only focused on the urgent and not the important, if we are only meeting to retreat, to reorg, if we are only waiting, then things will pass us by in a way that feels like we can't grasp them. And I guess that's where I'd like to overcome. It's where I'd like to see these trends either reverse themselves, or that we find solutions to these trends so that 2016 does not feel like we are foregoing the important for the urgent, that we are only meeting to retreat, to reorg, and that we are not waiting. And so, while those may be pessimistic or cynical trends, I am overall optimistic that 2016 will be better, and that those trends will be diminished, and that new trends will come up that are maybe not the opposite of those things, but at the very least are really more focused and more valuable. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry this one is a little bit longer. I hope you have a great day of learning today. Have a good one.